Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on Newsx. We're in conversation with actor Tanuj Virwani. Tanuj, welcome back to Newsx. Good to have you.
Well, thank you so much for having me back, Uday. Always an absolute pleasure and privilege speaking with you.
Absolutely. Likewise. Let's begin with the much anticipated Rana Naidu season 2. It's a
Yes.
big June Netflix release. So how excited are you
Yeah.
now for the release? D-Day is
Uh, you,
almost
you know, I'm
around the corner.
incredibly, I'm incredibly excited, and I'm so grateful, honestly, because I still remember. So Karan Anshuman and me go back a really long
Yeah.
way. He's
Inside
also
Edge.
my showrunner for Inside Edge. So we've
Yeah.
worked on 3 seasons so far, right? And I remember before Rana Naidu season 1 went on the floors, he was narrating the opening scene, and I was like, "Oh my God, how are you actually going to pull this off? This is absolutely insane." For
Mhm.
those who've seen the first show for
Yes.
the first season, and when the show came out, I binged on all episodes, and I called him up, and I'm like, "Yeah, please, can you write me something on this show? I love this world that you've created, and I feel I would like add some value to it." He's like, "Yeah, let's see this, that." He's very non-committal. That's a
Yeah.
very current thing. And cut to about a year or so later, he reached out to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been writing something, and I think you're the guy. So why don't you come and meet me, and we can rock and roll from there." So of course I went, I met him. I
Yeah.
loved what he narrated to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, just tell me where to sign. Let's start shooting." So that's
Okay.
how the entire thing happened. And now
Lovely.
here we're sitting doing press for the second season. So it's almost like a surreal experience, like it's not.
It is.
See, I've been part of many shows from the first season, but
Yeah.
rarely have I joined an already successful show in the second season. So when you've
True.
already been a fan and then you actually get to kind of, you've got Venkatesh sir, you've got
Yeah.
Rana, you've got Abhishek, you've got all these
Yeah.
wonderful actors. So
Yeah.
it's been phenomenal. Yeah, very
It
exciting.
has. What did you think of the first season, when you saw it? Just taking you back
I
now into
loved it.
memory lane.
I felt it was specifically made for me. All the things that I love watching in long
Yeah.
format storytelling and content were present on the show. The way it was presented, the feisty characters,
Hmm.
the thriller minute, the cliffhanger endings. It's everything that I fell in love with when I was introduced to the OTT platforms back in maybe
Hmm.
2017. So
Yeah.
it was amazing, and I'm pretty optimistic that this season's going to be bigger, crazier, bolder. And of
Yeah.
course, we've got a lot. We've got some amazing additions to the season 2 in the
Hmm.
form of Arjun Rampal, Dino Moria, Kriti Kharbanda, Shirmi playing brother and sister, Rajat
Okay.
Kapoor's playing our dad. So you've
Yeah.
got some, you've got some crazy stuff coming up.
They say filmmaking and acting is a constant learning process. So is that the
Yes.
same for you? When you're on sets with, people like Venkatesh sir, people like Rana, Arjun, Abhishek, all
Yeah.
great actors, are you constantly learning and of them as well?
Absolutely. What you said right now is bang on because,
Hmm.
see, firstly, to give you some insight about myself, I'm not a trained actor. I may have done 1 or 2 acting courses, but very
Yeah.
briefly. By and large, whatever I've learned is by being an assistant director, by being present on set, by observing my co-stars, my peers, the technicians on set,
Hmm.
learning lensing, learning lighting, learning the technicalities, because it's very important for a modern day actor to understand all of that. There's a
Yeah.
huge difference between acting on stage and acting for the camera.
Hmm.
So I think on a conscious as well as subconscious level, I always try and imbibe the best from everyone that I've worked with. I've been very fortunate from the start of my career. Be it Inside Edge, be it Vivek, be it Richa, be it Angad. Uske baad,
Yeah.
we had. I recently did a show with KK Menon. I've
Yes.
worked with Vijay
Bushi.
Raj. I've worked with Gajraj Rao, like top actors.
Yeah.
And I feel because they're always operating on such a high level,
Hmm.
you cannot afford to have an off day. You have to bring it. You got to
Hmm.
go hard or just stay home.
Hmm.
Coming to Abhishek in particular, I owe my career to him, honestly,
Hmm.
because as you know, he's also a casting director, and
Yeah.
he was the one who found me and nurtured me for Inside Edge. Without
Hmm.
him, I would not have landed that role in the first place. So I'm eternally grateful to him for that.
Hmm.
And working with Venkatesh sir was an absolute delight. I remember my first day was a longish scene with him, and he was in a
Okay.
lot of discomfort. He had a bit of a back issue going on. He could have easily said, "Hey, listen, let's pick this up another day, or I want to break." Nothing. He was a
Yeah.
consummate professional from morning till evening. He was standing, he was putting in his time, doing the lines, and fantastic.
Lovely.
Rana as well. So much credit goes to him because
Yeah.
he's got that anchor role, the sheet anchor
Yeah.
role of the show. So no matter how many crazy characters hop in and hop out of the
Yeah.
show, he has to stay consistent. He can't break character. He can't unnecessarily improvise, because then people will be like, hey, maza nahi aaya, because this is not the same Rana from season one, you know?
True.
So he's been phenomenally consistent, and he was very warm and welcoming, knowing that, you know, there was some new entrants in season two.
True, true, amazing. Just speaking now about OTT, of course, it's been great for you in your career. You've spoken about that
Right.
in the past to me as well. But as far as the mediums are concerned and your choices are concerned, does that influence your saying yes or no to a project? If you know it's a OTT release, or if you know it's a theatrical, are you seeking OTT yourself, or are you open to any kind of medium?
No. You know, the only thing I'm seeking, Uday, is to do good quality work. For me, honestly, the length of the role does not matter. I'll be honest, I've got a handful of scenes in Rana Naidu. It's not like, I'm going to go around falsely telling people, oh my God, I'm in every frame. I mean, the name of the show is Rana Naidu, right? There are obviously certain shows like an Inside Edge, a Cartel, these shows where I'm front and center. And the beauty of OTT is it's not dependent on just one or two people, because the canvas is much longer, the format of storytelling is much longer. So even if you pop in for a handful of sequences, you can make a performance very memorable. So for me, what matters, of course, which goes without saying, is script. If the script is not in order, if the material doesn't speak to me, what the character is doing, the journey that he is embarking on, if I can't connect with that, then there's no point. Secondly, of course, you want to be surrounded by good talent, both in front of as well as behind the camera. Extremely important. There are a lot of people who come to me with good concepts, but along with the concept, you need to have the means and the manpower to execute that, right? And thirdly, production house or the OTT involved. Sadly, I also been part of a couple of projects where it sounded great on paper, and you really put yourself out there and you do the best that you can, and then it never comes out because they don't have the means to release it or give it a good enough release. वो जैसे कहते ना, दिखेगा तो पिकेगा ना. Now, if it doesn't come out, or it doesn't come out the right way, there's no point. So there are a bunch of things that I actually look at when I'm going through the entire process.
True. Okay. You just now quickly talking about your personal space. You become a father. So how is that feeling? Double congratulations, of course, these days for your marriage and fatherhood.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
This past one and a half year, ever since I got married in December of 2020 up now, has been my most gratifying, most wholesome phase of my life, and I'm glad that it happened when it did. It didn't happen too soon and not too late. I was getting a little antsy. I'm like, I'm turning 38. I don't know. I'm still not settled down. When will I get married? When will I start a family? But luckily, touch wood, it happened very back to back. And it's beautiful. There was a point in time where I would find reasons to get out of the house, meet my friends, travel, X, Y, Z. And now I'm only finding reasons to come back home or stay home. So, it's beautiful. Every few days, every few weeks, there's a milestone. Like recently, she just about 8.5 months old. She started going to play school. So, that's been something very new. She started crawling a little bit. She's babbling right now. It's been an absolute joy. And I feel only when you're a parent and you witness all of this firsthand, do you realize, I mean, when you're bringing life into this world, it's a whole different ball game. And I do feel somewhere it has kind of transcended into my and just overall
nice
changing me on a very subliminal level.
You're conveying the feeling through your voice as well, Tanuj. And how you're emoting, we can make it out.
Absolutely, because I mean, at the end of the day, we are a sum of all the choices and all our experiences in life. And anyone who tells you, any actor tells you, oh no, I can compartmentalize, I don't agree with that, because I'll give you a simple example. I essayed Vayu Raghavan, Inside Edge, the character from 2016 till about maybe 2020, like 6 years of my life. Uday, every time I revisited that character for a subsequent season, my performance was different and my way in was different because I was at a different phase in my life. So if I was going through a breakup, I was in a darker phase. So there was a darker iteration of that character. If I was in a great space or some good stuff was happening in my personal life, I was able to bring that to the screen. So I just feel it ebbs and flows. And that's the beauty of OTT. Because in a film, you don't usually get the opportunity unless it's like a trilogy or like sequels and all where you get to come back. But on OTT...
you can flesh out your characters.
Exactly.
Final question to you.
It's a lot more full play.
Final question. Now, you you gave a statement recently, which is, broke the internet a bit. You said
Oh
your
God, I have.
mother is retiring from acting, Rati Agnihotri ji. Now, is that true? Is that something that she's going
No,
to reconsider?
see, let me clear the air once and for all.
Yeah,
All right. My mom has been acting since she was 15 years old. She
yeah,
never even went to college. She
yeah,
deprived herself of a college education
yes.
because she loved being in front of the camera. She loved being in the performing arts.
Hmm.
Then she retired, I think, at the age of 24, 25, when she got married
Hmm.
and she was pregnant with me. She made a comeback. She acted for another 13, 14 years.
Hmm.
And then it's just, I guess maybe she burnt out, or maybe she had enough, or maybe she just wanted to pursue other things, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I guess that's just human nature. So she went with my
yeah,
Masi in Poland. They started a bunch of restaurants and stuff. And I had to unfortunately spend a lot of time away from her because the pandemic happened and she was
yeah,
not able to travel back and stuff. So when I got married, I told her, I'm getting married under one condition: you are coming back, because these are very important years in family.
yeah,
There's nothing that is more important to me than being around my family. I'm
yeah,
also a single child. We have a very small nuclear family, just my mom, dad, me, and
yeah,
of course now Tanya and Navya.
yeah,
So that was the decision that we made. And then one day when we were talking, and I'm like, Mom, I got a call from this casting director and they'd like your number. Can I pass it on? And
huh,
she's like, no, because I'm done. And I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean you're done? She's like, yeah, I think I've had it with acting. It was a
yeah,
good run. I was
yeah,
lucky. I got two innings, not just one.
yeah.
And now I just want to enjoy life, travel, focus a little more on myself,
Yeah.
and play with my grandkid.
Okay.
So I was like, does that mean you've retired? And she's like, yeah, you could say that. So that's
Okay.
pretty much how the
Yeah.
conversation went. It wasn't
Yeah.
like she dropped a bomb on my head
Yeah.
and be like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, we actors are also very sunky, Uday. You never know, tomorrow some damn
True.
good role comes away. She'll be like, oh,
True.
I want to do it.
I
So
want to do
I
it
don't
again.
know. But as of
Okay.
now, yes, it is true. Whatever I
Okay.
said that
Okay.
apparently broke the
Okay.
internet.
Yeah.
She is,
So,
let's just say she's semi-retired as of
so
now.
for now, her fans can manifest it, of course, if they want her back. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That,
I want to manifest it.
yeah,
I
you
would
want to
love to
absolutely.
share screen space with my mom. I
Yeah.
think that'd be phenomenal.
Absolutely, it would. So let's hope that happens. Let's manifest it collectively in this interview, like you manifested a role in
Absolutely,
Rana
Uday.
Naidu too, and it happened. So all the very best for that. Thank you for joining us, Tanuj, today on Newsx.
Thank you. Thank you. They're always a pleasure speaking with you.